Hi friends, I'm Jessie. I use they, them pronouns and I own Yoga Vibe 585. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Tonight I'm going to offer us a really simple breath awareness technique. So go ahead and get comfortable. You could do this sitting at a desk. You could do it sitting on a couch cushion or even lying down. You don't have to be sitting upright to do this. You can cross your legs like I've got my hips up on a bolster and my legs kind of coming down and forward. You can cross at your ankles, anything you'd like. And we'll start by breathing out intentionally. Make an audible sound. If you want to close your eyes, sometimes it's easier to go inward when you're not looking around. See if you can let out a little more air than you take in. And then let your inhale naturally fill up. Take up a little more space in your body, in your rib cage, in your belly. And then let the breath go. A few more rounds just like this. Almost imagine like you were flushing something out, like you were making space for something or rinsing something. And then let that go. Again, if your eyes are closed, turn your focus inward or just let your eyelids get heavy. And the next time you breathe out, notice the place at the very bottom of your exhale. There's this natural pause right before your inhale rises. And at the top of your inhale, there's a natural pause where your breath just holds before it fully releases on your exhale. And so keep breathing. It doesn't matter if you're breathing deep, if you're breathing long, if you're breathing in and out through your nose or through your nose and your mouth. But observe that natural pause between inhale and exhale. I like this awareness technique because it doesn't matter how you're breathing. Sometimes paying too much attention to your inhales and exhales can be dysregulating. Like the point of our practice is to get more connected. And when we don't know what to pay attention to or how to pay attention to our breath in a way that is a little more neutral, it can be activating, it can be agitating. And so anytime I feel myself getting that way in my breath, in my body, I try to just shift my focus to the place of pause, the very top of my breath in, before the breath releases. And that place at the very bottom of your breath out, that moment before your lungs fill back up with air. And you don't have to hold it, you don't have to make it intentional. You could just observe it. Just observe how your breath shifts between halves of respiration, the way it moves back and forth. You may notice that you kind of naturally retain that pause in the breath a little longer when you're paying attention to it. That practice of holding the breath in or fully exhaling is sometimes part of a kumbhaka pranayama. This idea, like a kumbhak, like a jar, like you're holding yourself full of breath, or like you're emptying the jar all the way. There's like a little seal, an epiglottal seal that happens at the top and bottom, and that's not really the point of this video. I just like to yap. Again, try not to get too busy with it. When you feel those thoughts creep in, like mine just did, release the breath and come back to noticing the natural place between inhale and exhale. We're going to switch the cross of our legs. So if you're sitting in a place where like both feet are on the floor, or you're not, your legs aren't crossed, don't worry about it. If you'd like to change positions, help yourself. The next time you breathe in, imagine a little like glowing ball of light. Or if you're like me, a ping pong ball. And imagine it kind of like glowing, hovering, and holding at the top of your breath in. And then imagine that same glowing ping pong ball, or whatever, just a sphere of some kind, expanding in the space at the bottom of your breath out. So if you hold the breath for a moment, just imagine that like it's being held inside of the sphere, inside of this little glowing ball. And then imagine that ping pong ball, or that glowing ball of light, as you breathe in, going down through the central column, the central channel of your body. And at the top of your breath in, imagine that ball down at the bottom of your sternum, the bottom of your diaphragm, maybe even all the way down at your root chakra, down at the bottom of your pelvis. And hold that ball there as you are full of air. And then exhale and feel the ball rise up, all the way up and out through the crown of your head. And see if you can hold the breath out and imagine the ball hovering over the top of your head, over your crown chakra. Inhale, lower that ball down towards your pelvis. Exhale, rise it back up. So on our inhales, we move our awareness down and in. And on our exhales, we move our awareness up and out. In and down. Out and up. Keep going. If that's too complicated or it got busy, just come back to noticing that place of pause in your breath. And then one more big breath in. And exhale. Sigh it out. Let it go. Nice job. Again, this tool of like noticing something that's always with us, that's always here and now, like our breath, and even more specifically, like that place of purnata, of fullness, and the place of shunyata, of like emptiness, is a way of connecting to where you are here and now, regardless of what's going on in your body, in your breath, in your life. because your breath, and specifically these places of fullness and emptiness, are always present. We're changing, we're shifting, we're inhaling, we're exhaling. But there is a place inside that is always calm, that is always available, and that all we need to do is practice paying attention to give it more space. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon. Hail yourselves, yogis. I'll see you later.